Hey lovelies. Sorry, it's just a minute past 1 o'clock. Make yourselves at home. I'm going to wait for all of you to come on in. Grab your lovely cups of tea. I've got my cup of tea. You know me, my Barry's Irish breakfast. Although I am waiting for Colin to send me some of those lion teas that he was telling us about last week. Hey! Oh, Colin's on here. Hey, love. Carl's not doing the intro because you're not here. And I have Barry's. I'm waiting. I miss you. Thank you for last week. It was so much fun. Hey, guys. Thanks for tuning in. This is the 19th chat session of Tea with Karen. This started when? Back in March, at the beginning of this pandemic, and now here we are. I think about 20 weeks into quarantining for some of you. And you guys, it's been so wonderful keeping in touch throughout these past few months. It's so wonderful to see the community that you guys have been so instrumental in fostering such a loving and supportive community. So thank you for that. This past week, I've been seeing a lot of you posting your photos of your gorgeous selves in your Ready for a Whole New World t-shirt. Thank you so much. As most of you know, and for those of you who don't, I did a campaign not too long ago to raise funds for the NAACP in support of our Black brothers and sisters for BLM. So thank you so much for chipping in with that. We will be reissuing the t-shirts on sale soon, somewhere down in the future. Definitely, I'd like to think for Christmas. So if you're looking for any holiday gifts, this is a win-win situation where you can give a lovely t-shirt, an empowering t-shirt, and also support the NAACP. So I will keep you posted on that. I've got my notebook out. Have you guys got your notebooks? Because there's a lot to go through here. Don't forget, for those of you who did order the Ready for a Whole New World t-shirt, please tag me, take a picture of your gorgeous self, because I want to put a collage together and upload it on the Tea with Karen website. It'd be so lovely to do that. So don't forget, when you have a free moment, please send in your photos. And if you've missed any of the chat sessions of Tea with Karen, you can log on to www.teawithkaren.com. Last week was hilarious, and it was so great to get feedback from you guys. Thank you so much, because I know you've been sending some ideas for challenges as well, and for guests to the Tea with Karen website, and I've been receiving them. Thank you, Gemma. So I have written them all down, and I will be using those ideas for the future challenges. So to catch up on all the episodes there, I've uploaded them, all of them. I can talk. I can really talk. I promise I can. 20 weeks quarantine, guys. This is what happens. Take two. You can go onto the website, is what I'm trying to say, and you can catch up on everything there. You can see your gorgeous selves under the Tea with Karen challenges and the episodes over there as well. Yesterday and last weekend, I was doing the Creation Virtual Convention, and it was so wonderful to see you guys. I got to speak to some of you yesterday, and it really just made my whole day to hear from all of you from all over the world. It was so wonderful. So thank you for bringing so much magic and brightening my day. I love that Creation can put together these virtual cons and connect us all together during these challenging times. If we can't meet up in person, then at least we can do it convention-wise. I'm so thrilled about that. And speaking of Creation, tickets have gone on sale again for the rescheduled Vampire Diaries Legacies Originals convention for next year. I believe it's July of 2021. So I'm so looking forward to that. And you can go to creationent.com to get your tickets for that. Your challenges. Guys, I was so deeply moved to see all your wonderful tributes to the people that your star humans in your life, to family members, to your pets, to your best friends, to yourselves even. I loved it so much. So thank you. Can you see the builders? The builders are walking behind me. Promise they're not ghosts. They are keeping up with the renovations for the studio, which I promised I will post photos and share with you guys. So they're busy social distancing, wearing masks in the back. So if you see any of them going by my office, you know who they are. The challenges were just so beautiful, and thank you for participating. I will be drawing out one winner, and you will be receiving a black woolly beanie, Super Squad. And I ordered some of this, some swag from them to support our crew. A lot of our crew, as you know, have been out of work for, 5 months now? And could be possibly longer. So you guys, for those of you who did place an order to support the Super Squad, thank you so much. So black woolly beanies. That's a tongue twister, isn't it? Black woolly beanies. I can't talk. You try saying it. And what else? Oh, yes, Bentonville Film Festival. So Yatidi Badaki and myself and Jessica Sharif, we produced a wonderful short film which was announced for competition at Gina Davis's Bentonville Film Festival. And that begins next Monday. So I have posted a link in my stories where you can purchase your tickets and you can watch a screening of our short film in Hollywoodland, and we'll also be doing a Q&A. More details on screening times, but I believe it's Bentonville, I have something in my eye. It's all happening now. Bentonville Film Festival. Well, I'm not sure about the website now. I think it's bentonville.org. Help, help, help. You guys can look on. It's going to bother right now. So now I got to look it up. Give me 1 second so I get this right. Bentonville. Yes, Bentonville, BENTONVILLE film, FILM.org. And it has all the details over there. So, but I'll post as well, just so you know. All right, enough of my babbling. It is time for my Amplify Melanated Voices section. I found some wonderful profiles this week on Instagram, and this is calling out to all the parents, aunts, uncles, big brothers and sisters. There is a profile called @Books for Diversity, and it is bringing you children's books that reflect the diversity and the unique cultures that make up our nation and world. I just love it so much. And they've got so many titles there. I mean, I would read them myself anyway, but I just think, children are the future. Let's equip them with the knowledge and education they need to understand right from the get-go about racial equality and inclusivity. It's such a wonderful profile. So give them a follow. And if you're looking for books to read to your kids or your brothers and sisters or your nieces and nephews, and this is a site to go to. My second one is at @Taylor, ADTAYLOR.poetry. I just love this profile. It's so beautiful. She is an author, and she posts a lot of thought-provoking quotes, which makes you dig deep, gets you thinking. It's a lovely, lovely profile. So I encourage you to take a look at her profile and give her a follow too. I also came across a quote that I wanted to share with you, especially to all the queens watching now. I love this so much. Last week, Carl told you guys to follow @Black Iris Project, and they posted this quote, unknown. A goddess is a woman who emerges from deep within herself. I I just love that so much. A goddess is a woman who emerges from deep within herself. Amen. Love that. Right. Now I get to do the fun, exciting bit. I'm so excited today. I'm having a cup of tea with lovely, magical, literally, Brittany Curran. You know her from TV shows like Men of a Certain Age, Twisted, Chicago Fire, and of course as Fen in The Magicians. So I am going to give her, let me see, give her an ad. Let me find her. There she is. And you can follow Brittany at Brittany Curran, Brittany Curran. So I'll just wait for Brittany to come on.
Hi!
Oh my gosh, look how stunning you look. And look at your teacup.
Yeah!
You
Cheers.
look gorgeous. Hello, cheers, love. How are you?
I'm good. I was so excited just to like see you, and also I have to admit I was so excited because I bought this little this bone china tea and saucer in London like 5 years ago, and I don't use it very often because it's quite small and I drink a lot of tea.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, this is the perfect time because Karen's English and this comes from her motherland. So yeah.
It is so beautiful.
Thank you.
I love it.
I love teacups and glassware and all that stuff. So
I have an addiction that Carl has actually staged an intervention. He said that I can't have any more teacups.
oh, James said the exact same thing to me.
Yeah. And now this is so funny because, you know, we are doing this from home. The doorbell's rung. And I'm going to tell Carl to answer. See, this is what you guys get. You get the whole thing behind the scenes. So now
I know. James just brought our puppy to the dog park because she's still a puppy and she gets a little loud when I do anything at all. So
did you guys get a puppy?
We did back in November, but she's still just as energetic and puppyish as the day we got her when she was like two months old. So yeah. I think Carl knows. I think James and Carl might have been texting about the puppy.
They were.
They're like now texting and friends now, and it's really cute. I mean, I know they've been friends for a while, but now I think they talk more than you and I do.
Oh,
and,
I know.
It's hilarious.
It's because, see, we're the ones that are traveling most of the time.
Exactly.
And so it's like always dropping a message saying, are you back? Where are you?
Yep, exactly.
That's the extent of our text messages, that it begins that way. And then, but Carl, I feel Carl and James, they just kind of get on with it. They're like, yeah, okay, they're traveling, they're working, they're filming, they're doing the thing. We'll just get on with it.
And Carl's a composer too, right?
Yeah. And this is why they have so much in common. Yeah,
they have so much in common, and they're both just like in their little, you know, caves, aka studios, all the time. And so it's much different than being on a plane all the time.
You want to come say hi to Brittany?
Hi, Carl. I'm assuming that's him.
About how you and James just like geek over. They can talk for hours about sound cards.
Hello.
Audio things that I don't understand. I love it.
Yeah, the things that you and James talk
about. It's code. We talk code. I mean, sound cards. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so exciting. Sound cards.
Sound cards.
Can you do me a favor? Can you turn that light on? I'm just ordering him around. Oh, and can you AC?
No worries. I'm like adjusting my camera because.
Oh, that's better. And can you put the AC on? I am dying of heat.
I know. I'm so hot right now, and the AC's on.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just like, and I don't even know if it's on. He's got this Nest thing. Do you understand Nest? Because
we have Nest too.
Yeah,
but I don't have it on my phone. Only James does. I don't know.
You and I both. Carl has it on his phone. I don't have it, so I don't understand it and the controls and whatnot. So I'm just like, okay, you need to turn the AC on now because now I can just feel myself melting away. But
we'll be 2 rooms over watching a movie from where like the actual wall unit is, like the thing that I somewhat understand now. Yeah. And I'll be like, baby, can you just do the AC on your phone so I don't have to get up? 1, because I'm lazy, and 2, because I don't understand technology. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we really should hang out more. Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm powdering because I'm already feeling so hot.
You know, me too.
So we have a quick makeup touch up. You have you been doing quarantining and dealing with
Yeah,
it's a thing called the pandemic.
it's crazy. I've been good. Like in the beginning, the first month, I was just like a complete nervous wreck. And not maybe it was the first month. The first 2 weeks were especially bad. I mean, no one really knew in the first couple of weeks exactly what was going on. So I was extra careful. I mean, I'm always extra careful to a probably problematic degree that would be classified as a phobia. But the first couple of weeks of the pandemic, I was just so nervous. I was a complete wreck. All I did the whole time was watch Dexter, which I don't know why a story about serial killer was comforting to me. But for some reason, Dexter was so comforting to me. Like sometimes I'd stay up till 2 a.m, like watching another episode, and I was like, now I can relax. Now I've seen, you know, several more gruesome murders on a Showtime, and now I'm like relaxed and everything. So I don't know what that says about me. And then I finally started to get into a groove and relax a little bit more. But it's crazy. Like I started talking to my therapist again, because, you know, it's hard with traveling. I'd always be out of town. And I finally realized that I was getting like really, really paranoid of having COVID like all the time. Like I'd feel an itch in my throat and I'd be like, even though it's physically impossible for me to have it because I've been in my house for months on end, maybe I have it. So I started doing like virtual therapy again, which I highly suggest to anybody. Well, therapy in general, but like,
Therapy is amazing. Everyone should be doing therapy.
I mean, yeah, no matter where you are, like no matter whether a pandemic's happening or not, it's just such a wonderful gift to give to yourself. Yeah, so since I started going back to therapy, I've been meditating every day. I started exercising again. And then I started being more creative.
I saw and there's something about exercise. If you can even lock into some sort of a routine, even for 10 minutes a day, they say, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
You're creating this routine of a new norm, and it helps so much with those happy endorphins and just getting the blood flowing and the oxygen circulating. So I literally, when I'm so lazy, I'll literally drag myself by the ear and just get my butt onto that treadmill. And just go, even if it's for a long power walk or a long stroll, you know. We have a Peloton, which is just so wonderful.
Do you have Peloton?
We have Peloton. We have
us too.
Do you have the treadmill?
No, we have the bike.
The bike is wonderful.
I want to get the treadmill.
I cannot recommend it enough. It's so wonderful, the classes that they have on there. And guys, I'm not endorsing Peloton.
I'm not either. I mean, if you want to give me a free treadmill, I'll take it, but I'm not endorsing it on purpose.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll take the bike in Peloton.
But I will take anything.
But it's just so wonderful. There's a lot of scenic routes that what I'll do is, instead of like watching TV on the sofa, I'll literally bring my laptop. Even though we have this beautiful big screen on Peloton,
I know.
But I'll watch a movie, but then I'll go for this scenic hike, and you can pick different places all over the world, and it's absolutely beautiful. So I'll just go and do that. So I feel like I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. It's like, okay, I'm walking, I'm getting the happy endorphins going. I think it's just so important to, you know, even like having the puppy. I bet you guys go for walks, which is
we walk with her all the time. We go to dog park. We didn't do it at first because we weren't leaving. We were nothing. It was like a scene from, you know, Contagion or something. Like I wasn't leaving this house at all, except to bring the dog on walks and to open my front door to pick up my groceries, like the recluse that I am. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah.
No,
good, absolutely.
Thank you.
I've only been going out for drives with Carl, walks with Milo with the mask on, and then with the exception of our anniversary, our wedding venue, Carl managed to get us there.
I saw pictures.
And we had the whole place to ourselves because sadly wedding season has been canceled. So we had the whole place to ourselves. It was just Carl, Milo, and I, and it was so wonderful. But that's it. I have not been anywhere else. No restaurants, no, no public huge gatherings. We've had some friends, like, and I say that on one hand, like 2 at a time, that come outside and are like
Oh, yeah.
10 feet away with, you know, it's like social
You're about to
distancing.
put it on 2 hands because Carl and James already made plans for us to
Oh,
have
that's right.
a social distance. Speaking of, I was like, oh, I have plans with Karen. I didn't even know about it. Perfect.
Yeah, I know. They just went ahead. But isn't that nice for a change? The guys go and make the plans. It's like, yeah, okay, just let us know. It's
so
great. Yeah, so I think we're doing some sort of a picnic, socially distant picnicking front with the pups running around and stuff.
Yes.
But we got a projector, so we're doing movie nights as well.
Oh,
So
yes.
yeah, because we have like a circle of friends where you guys too included, where we're all socially distancing, but we're quarantining as well. So we've been really vigilant that way. So there's a whole new meaning with outdoor living space now.
Yes.
Trying to accommodate to make sure that we're all comfortable but socially distanced and able to have some sort of social interaction, which they say is so important to have, even if it's virtually like this, for at least half an hour each day. Is
that the time that you need, like, to not lose your mind?
Yeah, so that you don't feel isolated, you know. And I know that I think it's just riding those waves, which I keep telling the gang on here. It's so important that, you know, they all know too. You guys know who are watching that you're not alone at all. Like, don't feel like, oh my gosh, am I the only one feeling this? There are mornings, and it's usually in the morning, where you get sort of a wave of anxiety. It's just the uncertainty of not knowing what's happening. When will this come to an end? Will it come to an end? Yes, it will. But it just
but that does go in there, though. That thought does creep in for sure.
Yeah. And just, you know, constantly navigating through each day, because each day is different. One day I could feel so productive and on top of the world, like you said, feeling creative and charged up. And then the next day, I just am so wiped out, tired, or just like my mind, I think because we're not getting that stimulation that we're so used to, especially, you know, when we travel, we're traveling for filming and all that. And that's all come to a grinding halt for now. And, you know, it's been a really interesting time. But saying that, it's sort of embracing this. If you flip it on the other side and you try to find the good.
Yes, exactly.
In a challenging time, and trying to, like, I'm doing things that I wasn't able to before. I know you've mentioned that you've been creative, you've been writing, right?
Yeah, it's been the same thing where, like, everything you said, it's funny, it's so comforting knowing, like, obviously you don't want other people to be not happy or not relaxed, but it's such a human connection thing to be like, oh, I'm not the only one that feels this way, because you always think you're the only one that feels, I mean, at least that happens to me. I'm like, no one else feels this way. No one else thinks the pandemic's never going to end, even though it is. But it's still, your body still feels that emotionally, even if your mind knows it logically. And so, yeah, hearing you talk about it, I'm like, oh, God, I'm so glad that Karen's suffering horrifically, too. I'm totally kidding. But no, it is comforting to hear, like, oh, other people feel this way and other people are struggling. And it's a very human thing. And there's, like, nothing wrong with me just because, like, I'm afraid sometimes, or I have days where I'm like, what the heck did I just do with my day? It went by and I accomplished nothing. Yeah. Because I look at you and I'm like, oh, Karen's so productive and so on top of everything. So to know that you have days that you feel like you didn't do anything, I'm going to remember that on my next unproductive day. So
you must, because it's so funny that you say that, because I feel like when I have those days, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so lazy. Why can't I do more? Why I feel like I'm not doing enough. And I feel there's many of you watching too that have these moments where you feel like, oh my gosh, so-and-so is doing this, so-and-so. And that's because we live in such a comparative culture. We have to stop that.
Yes, we do live in a comparative culture. I'm so bad. I do it all the time. I compare myself.
We're all victims of that, because look, for me, and I think for you too, is that, especially as creatives, for those of us who are creative too, we're always inspired by the work of other people. So when I hear such inspiring stories, and now, because you mentioned you're writing, I'm writing too, I'm doing writing, which I never had the time to do, and now I have this gift of time. Then again, it's kind of like, well, I don't know if I can write every day, because you have to go when it hits you, you know, that spurt. And then you're like, no, but then I've got to do something. I've got to keep it up, you know, because I've got to see this through. I've got to finish it. But that's a whole other discussion of a writer's.
Totally, like the difference between motivation and work ethic and trying to like have that part. But yeah, writing was one of the things that really saved me mentally. Like once I got to the point where I was a little bit more informed about what was going on. I mean, we were all like somewhat more informed about what was going on in the world. And I finally was like, you know what? Like, this is obviously going to be happening for some time now, whether it's, I remember so many friends were like, it'll be over in like a month, right? This was back in March. And I was thinking to myself, no, that's not going to happen. And so I kind of accepted it a little early on. I was like, okay, this is going to be going on for several months. And so why not try to find a silver lining and a terrible thing? So yeah, one of my silver linings was writing, and I discovered that was kind of like the shift for me during the lockdown was, or during the current lockdown, is when I started writing again. And it's one of those things I've written since I was a little kid. Like I used to write poetry when I was like 5. Yeah. And then I kind of gave it up over the past few years. And then it became this thing where I thought I couldn't do it, or wasn't good enough, or I never had the time.
Brittany, we're the same person.
We're just the same person. Yep.
This is exactly.
You just have an English accent and sound far more sophisticated. And other than that, though.
I'm so happy and relieved to hear you say that, because that is exactly how I felt.
Okay, good. Not good, but good.
Yeah, but I was always writing as a kid. English lit was my major in school and college.
Oh, I got my degree in American literature.
Oh my God, we are the same person. So I was always writing and writing and writing to my father's. It was so funny because when I realized I wasn't great at maths, like I wasn't going to be that calculus, physics, mental brain my father was. And so when I told him that I wanted to focus on English lit and writing, can you imagine, like to a left brain father? Yep. He was like, what? But my mom, thankfully, you know, told him, look, if those are her strengths, you should play to those strengths. And that's what I did. But I even studied journalism for 2 years at uni. But
wait, what did you study?
I even studied journalism for 2 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
where did you go to university?
Sorry, love?
Where did you go to university?
So I was in Toronto. This is before I went back to England for drama college. So I went to university in Toronto, downtown at Ryerson. Oh, so cool. I loved it, and I've made such friends for life that are all in the journalism world. But that calling, as you know, when it comes, you can't ignore that voice when it comes calling. And I had a wonderful mentor who told me, and it was such a big decision, because to drop out of university, I'm like, what? Yeah. Like I'm the type that, you know, when I start something, I want to finish it. Yeah. And university, for those of you who have been blessed to go to uni or college or have some sort of secondary education, it's such a gift. Yeah. And really plays such a huge, profound, moment in your life, that chapter of life experience that, and you make some friends there for life. It's a beautiful moment. And I know many of you who are watching now are going to be going to university or college, and I'm so excited for you guys. Just enjoy and soak up every moment, because blink and it will be done. And all of a sudden you're going to be adulting, and adulting is a whole other, a whole other kettle of fish. It's different. You're going to miss those salad days of when you had a structure, you had a routine, where you had wonderful professors and dear classmates that would hold you accountable, that would challenge you and hopefully bring out the best in you. Yeah. I miss school. So going back to writing now has been so wonderful. And for you and I, we've had the fancy problem of being so busy with acting. Yeah. That, of course, you know, with our schedules and long filming hours changing all the time, it's been really challenging to lock into a regular routine of writing. So to be able to do that now during this quarantine, I just feel is such a blessing in disguise. It's so magical. And even if you guys, I've told you guys watching, to write in journals as well, because anything, you know, that gives you joy. And if you can write your thoughts down, that's so therapeutic in itself. But yes, as when you're writing something scripted and something creative, it's so magical and exciting and vomitous at the same time. It's like
Vomitous. That's a fantastic word.
It's horrifying.
I love it. Is that a real word?
Vomitous? No,
Vomit.
vomitous.
The word vomit and then ist. That's
Vomitous.
fantastic. That's what you just said, right? Oh, I love words.
Do you like it? You can take it. It's yours.
No, it's yours, but I am going to also use it and give you credit sometimes. That's wonderful.
In the dedication to Karen for this wonderful vomitous experience.
One word, but the best word in the whole book.
How's life being post The Magicians now?
Weird, because I was on The Magicians for 4 years, and like you, I was traveling internationally all the time, and because The Magicians films, and for those of you who don't know, films up in Vancouver in Canada, and Karen has also filmed a lot in Vancouver. That's actually where we met.
We met through this one.
Yes, we met in like the most actory way possible, which is in the lobby of the Sutton Place Hotel in Vancouver, which is just like this hotel in Vancouver that like everybody stays at. I mean, writers, producers, actors. It's just hilarious. And yeah, we were there because you're friends with Rizwan Manji, who is recurring on The Magicians. And then you guys, what did you guys work on together?
We worked on The Tiger Hunter. We did a movie together on The Tiger Hunter, and we just became really dear friends.
I love
And
Riz.
then you know how it is, you catch up and Rizwan's like, wait, I'm in Vancouver. And I'm like, wait, I'm in Vancouver for once upon a time. And I said, well, come out and join us for dinner. And that's where we met.
Yeah, we were in the lobby, and I was getting dinner with Hale Appleman, who plays this character Elliot on the show. I play his wife on the show, and we had become friends. And then Riz and I had also become friends so quick, because how can you not?
I know.
And I can't remember exactly what the plan is, but I remember like seeing maybe just you two were getting dinner, and then us two were getting dinner, and then we were all in the lobby at once, and we were like, we should all get dinner. And then you were my friends, and I was like, can I have your number, and can you be my friends? And that's how that happened. And that was like 5 years. That would have been about 5 years ago at this point.
Yeah, already.
I can't believe that. So weird. But it's weird without The Magicians, because we didn't know if we were going to get picked up for another season. And then the show started airing, the 5th season started airing in January. Wow. You know what? Now that it's in the past, I'm like, I don't remember anything. I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know what year it is anymore. And then the show got canceled, and it was such weird timing, because the show got canceled. And then there was like a 2-week period where all of a sudden it was the first time in years that I wasn't under contract. So I all of a sudden started auditioning. I mean, you know this game. I started auditioning again. And I was sad about the show ending, but I also, I want to look on the bright side. So I was like, oh, I get to do something new, and I should, embrace this. And I got involved with like this play group called Bespoke Plays. And I was just so busy. And there was 2 weeks of like auditions and this and that and plays, and then boom, lockdown. And so it was from like being a series writer on a show and traveling internationally all the time, back and forth, to all of a sudden being in LA and being like full on actor mode again, and then the lockdown. And so it was just such a paradigm shift. And I'm sure that was like rather jolting. I mean, it was jolting for everybody, of course. But yeah, sorry, just
that's a good word.
Something funny. But it's funny, the thing that changed for me in lockdown, I'm sorry, now you kept asking me about writing, and then I started talking about something else.
But this is how conversations go. We segue
I know,
in and out and in and out.
I know, it's lovely. I love it. And our tea. It's funny. I brought this is just like a says my weekend is all booked. Because since my teacup is so small, I thought, oh, I'm gonna run out of water fast. And this bad boy is really good with keeping in heat. So I have just hot water in here. I just refill, and I want to show you in honor of your mothership. This is what I'm drinking.
Oh, you've got PG. Good guess. See? Go
Yeah.
after my own heart. I knew there were many reasons why I loved you.
I love Fiji tips. My friend Raz is he's such a Londoner, but he lives here now, and he introduced PG tips to me. And I dropped a bunch of stuff. I don't even know what just happened. There's like stuff in my tea now. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. As long as it's not Corona, I don't care. I hope people don't think that's offensive. I think I gotta joke about, if I don't joke about things, I'm just gonna cry, you know? Like, humor is so therapeutic. So
Isn't it?
I gotta
humor
make
away. You can humor all over this tea session.
Okay, great.
That's
Good. I need it. I need humor. Otherwise, I'll just lose my mind and only be on virtual calls with my therapist 24/7, and that will get very expensive. I don't think my SAG health insurance covers that.
But I'll tell you what, because I know you've been really busy in renovations, home renovations, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that in itself, I don't know. I could talk about home decor all day.
Pretty open though. Look at the wall.
I love it.
That's just an open wall.
It's just an open wall. Why not? So, but aren't you enjoying the whole creative process of trying to create sanctuary and make your home, you know, as special as you guys deserve it to be? You know, I find that to be a great distraction, because we have the, as James knows, we're doing the garage conversion into a full recording studio, and then we have the pool house on the other side, so we're renovating that whole thing, and it's been so much. I have been going through so many websites for wallpaper.
I love wallpaper. I want the wallpaper from Sherlock. Have you seen Sherlock?
Yes. Which one?
Show?
Now I'm looking.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But if you like wallpaper, you might like it. James, not as much of a, like, you know, wallpaper prints in your face fan, but like the one wall in Sherlock's in Watson's apartment is I think it's black and white, and it's this print. And like, I really want that on one wall of my house because I'm obsessed with Sherlock.
Oh my gosh, it's kind of like a distressed.
Yeah.
I'm just looking. It's just, the sets are so amazing.
It depends on what
wallpaper.
I could talk about wallpaper, but like forever. We've been working on the lawn more too, because James and I mean, you know, but James and I bought a house about a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
we weren't working on it very much. I know. You know what's funny too? Karen and I lived 500 yards away from each other, literally, or maybe like.
And had no idea.
And had no idea for years. And then we were like closing our old apartment. We literally must have lived like less than a quarter of a mile, literally, for years. And then we closed on this house. And during that, like, in between time, that's when we went to your house for the first time. And I remember looking up the address for the barbecue. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, she's right there. And we walked over and didn't even get sweaty. I mean, it was. And I was like, damn it, we're literally moving away in 2 weeks. And I've lived walking distance, again, less than like a quarter of a kilometer, whatever is tiny amount. I don't know.
And
I know kilometers.
But you guys aren't that far anymore either. Like, still, you're
I think we're like 5 miles away.
Yeah, that's not far.
But being 500 yards away is just so much closer. I know we're still close, but it was still. But yeah, so we kind of like started doing renovations. We did our floor. And then I was in Canada, so we stopped, and we came back. We started doing it, and the pandemic hit. And so, but now, like, we're taking time. We're, like you were saying earlier, we're working on our backyard space. Like, that's kind of one of my respites, is I got this pod. Yeah. You can't see it from here. I'm not even going to try. But like, when I work during the day, because James has a home studio, it's a second bedroom. Yeah. But he's like slowly turning it into more of a studio. Yeah. And then at some point we want to actually have like a ADU or like something that's like full on studio.
Oh, absolutely. Highly recommend it.
What's that?
Highly recommend it.
Yeah, I know. So that's like kind of one of the bigger stages in our plan. But I don't have a home studio because I was always, you know, moving around with filming and stuff. So there was no reason for it. And I was like, no, just make it yours. So when the pandemic hit, I was like, okay, I need to figure out where I'm going to work. And James was like, we can share the office. And I said, no. Actually, no, because I found out my little thing, which is I move between this one chair that I always sit in at our dining room table. And that's like my main office that I start in the morning. And then I go in my pod in the backyard. And then I move to the movie room and I'll put like James Bond on silent. And then I'll keep working from there. And so I have like these 3 spots that I circulate between. And it's perfect for me. And like one of the things that's been comforting me during quarantine, and it's so silly, but like I have these little things. So when I move between my 3 spots, between my desk, aka our dining room table, my pod and the couch in the movie room, is I have my little comfort items, and I'll show them to you. So this is Bearlock Homes. I literally had them ready to show you because I was like, this is a cute thing to talk about on this. So this is Bearlock Homes. I got him at the Sherlock Museum, like at, 221B Baker Street in London, when I was in London in January. When was I in London? I've been in the UK a lot lately, which is part of the reason why I love PG tips. So I got Bearlock there. Yeah. And then I'm also obsessed with James Bond. And I think one of my favorite characters in movie history is Agent M. In Judi Dench's version. So she plays the head of, I know you know this, but she plays the head of MI6 in the Daniel Craig movies and in the Pierce Brosnan movies. And I'm obsessed with her. And like, I look at her, and when I feel like anxious or whatever my own issue is, I'm like, okay, what would M do? And I try to channel her. So I turned 30 last month. What would M do? Yeah, that's like WWJD, but it's WWMD. What would M do? That's like my my thing that I do now in my head. So in Skyfall, okay, good, your face. This is Jack the Bulldog, and he sits on M's desk in Skyfall. And I'm not going to say anything more in case people haven't seen it. Yeah. But like he's like a very significant prop, or at least I think he is. And so Jack was my 30th birthday present to myself, because I was like, M gives me strength, and I look at Jack, and he reminds me to be like kinder to myself and strong. And then my brother also got me these 2 Funkos, and this is M. I know you're not supposed to take them out. And then this is Lorraine Broughton from Atomic Blonde. It's Charlize Theron's character. And so I really like spy stuff, obviously. Yeah. Literally everything here is either a detective or a spy-related thing. So throughout the day, when I circulate between my 3 spots, I literally bring all 4 of those items: my computer, my tea, my coffee, and then also my fake weapons. Again, I was already ready to show and tell. These are all plastic. But like my fake weapons that I've been like, this is very fake. This is just plastic. So I'm like practicing. I don't really know much about the revolvers. I love Westerns. So I bring my fake plastic weapons between my table and my pod and like my girls, and they make me feel stronger.
I love that so much.
So the point is, no matter what comforts you, do that thing, because I'm a 30-year-old woman that carries around dolls and stuffed animals and fake knives, and that brings me joy, especially during this time. So do you.
I love it. I love it so much. You've got your power squad right there in front of you.
That's a good way of putting it. I like that.
Cheering you on, saying, go Brittany, go, and live your best life, live your best quarantine life, I know.
I'm playing so wonderful. Like, I'm living my best life.
I love that so much. It makes you smile. It makes you feel empowered. It makes you feel good about yourself. It inspires you to be creative, to be productive. I mean, I love that so much. You've inspired me.
Oh, good.
And it's so funny how both our other halves have got the sweet end of the deal, where they get, Carl's getting the whole garage, and I'm like, what? Yes, how come you get a whole garage? And when you guys do yours, like even James gets a whole second bedroom.
Exactly.
So I'm just like, wait a second. I mean, I love my office.
Totally.
It's in the front of the house, and we often joke, because when you come in, you see it on the side, and it feels like I'm the receptionist of the
That's hilarious.
I've decorated decorated it the way that I like, and I have, like, you can see I love my flowers. I've got.
I know, that's why I wore this dress, was because I could tell that you love floral things and flowers. So I was like, oh, I should wear flowers for Karen.
Oh, and it's so beautiful. I love that dress, by the way.
Thanks.
I love it. It's so nice to get dressed up, even
I know.
the makeup on. Although I've been having a bad hair day this week. My hair now, because I've got pandemic hair, it's now outgrowing, and so it's going triangular.
Yeah.
And
my hair is so long now.
Oh, wow, but
it's
beautiful.
It's like really long, but it's funny because normally, like, you know, you can never really do anything crazy with your hair if you're an actor. So I was good at dyeing my hair purple earlier in the pandemic, but then the dye that I got just wouldn't dye my hair. And so then instead I went and I dyed my hair lighter, because again, like, I always have to get permission from a studio to change anything. And so I was like, screw it, I'm just doing what I want. So now my hair is like redder and blonder than usual, because I'm usually much more of a brunette. You can see it already.
So you're more like a strawberry blonde right now, right?
Yeah, it's like a strawberry.
I love it.
Thanks. I have like natural blonde, but also red highlights in my hair. I'm half Irish. There's a lot of redheads in my family. So when I put in this dye, it kind of brought out the red a little bit more. And I was like, cool, that's fun. I wasn't expecting that. And it was thrilling dyeing my own hair. I normally would never, like, I go into a salon and it's like pre-planned by a hair specialist from my show. And so throwing caution to the wind in the way of dyeing my hair in my bathroom was like so scary and thrilling for me.
I just live vicariously through you, because I mean, I'm very limited with what I can do with my hair because of my complexion too. I'd look ridiculous.
You'd have to bleach it first if you went lighter, because your hair is dark. It's such dark brown.
It's so dark. But
it's such a gorgeous color though. I wanted to go darker actually, because I love dark hair. But since my hair had already been lightened because of the show, I was like, I'm just gonna keep going in this way and then go back to dark, because I love dark hair.
See, but it's so much fun to be able to play around and do different, you know, colors with your hair. As soon as I'm finished filming, the first thing I do is I go and get a really good cut, and then I put my fringe, my bangs back.
Oh, yeah.
And so, but then when I'm filming, I can't do that, so I've got to grow my bangs out. But I'm just like itchy, because now I'm like, well, how long are we going to be in this quarantine for? Like, can I put a fringe in? Because my hair grows really quickly. But just as soon as I do that, I know what's going to happen.
You're going to book something. But that's why you should do it. I vote for the fringe, because it's going to make you happy no matter what. And then maybe it will, you know, speed up the pandemic and or your next role. It's like whenever I want to book something, book a non-refundable vacation, because that's when you'll book your next film, is when you fly plane tickets that are expensive and non-refundable. That's just how it works.
That's an inside thing for those of you watching and didn't know. It's an inside joke with all actors. They're like, book a fantastical vacation, and you will book a job.
I mean, without fail. It's crazy. But no, I did the same thing. I actually cut my fringe. I mean, now it looks like crap, but I cut my own bangs, which was also crazy at the beginning of the pandemic. Now they're grown out. I know.
You did a good job. I can't cut straight, so forget it. Like, I would just ruin.
I twisted it. I twisted it, and then I cut like that, and that makes it straighter. I couldn't cut straight either.
Is that the secret, that you twist it?
Yeah, I watched the beginning of a YouTube video and then turned it off because I was impatient, and then I just did it. And it was okay.
I love that. No, okay, I'm just going to get on with it.
Do it. I want you. I'm do it.
I just desperately need a haircut. Like, I can just feel the layers are just way too long. Guys, you're watching. For the guys who are watching this now, we're having a very girly moment. These are very important things to discuss over a cup of tea.
Like talking about bangs.
You have so many beloved fans who adore you and have sent such good questions in. So I thought I'd go through some of them.
Yeah.
At Dane Russell asks Brittany, what are your favorite moments on The Magicians?
Oh, gosh, good question. I don't know if they mean like on screen or filming. But some of my favorite moments on The Magicians were definitely, I'll try to say it in a way that doesn't spoil it, but the people who have seen it know what I'm talking about. In the 5th season, one of the last episodes, there's a my phone started to go black. I hope it has.
No, mine was doing the same thing too.
Oh, okay. So it's
good.
the gram and not us. Great. But I really loved the scene where Fen, my character, is in one of the labs in Brakebills University, which is the magical university on our show. And there is a seed, and I do a speech to the seed for a very magical, important purpose. And that was one of my favorite parts on the show, because Fen, well, I mean, I did start as a side character. When I was first hired on the show, I was a recurring character, and I was only meant to do 7 episodes. And then they ended up expanding it and then making me a series regular. So Fen was intended to be a side character for sure. And then our wonderful writers just like turned her into this whole other thing. So for me, like seeing this person grow, she literally went from like a peasant girl in an arranged marriage who was just like cast aside all of the time and not taken seriously, to this person that was like really instrumental to the survival of the world literally at the end of the show. So after seeing Fen go through like so much crap and never taken seriously and always left behind on adventures, to all of a sudden being the creator of this incredible thing, was such a big moment for me. So that was one of my favorites, because you know, you play a character for so long, you get emotionally attached to them, and I especially love Fen. I especially care about her. And yeah, so that's definitely one of my favorite moments. But yeah, I loved working with the cast. Like so many of us became such good friends, and like we would go on adventures on the weekend all the time. And it was,
you do become a family.
Yeah, you become such a family. And like, and Jay Taylor and I, who plays Katie on the show, like, I mean, I post about her all the time, but we're best friends now, and we're making a short film together right now. We're in pre-production. And that's a whole other thing, is making this film during this time is quite a learning experience. And I'm the most paranoid person in the world. And so as a producer, I'm like, with everything. And again, we're just like in pre-production right now. But oh, by the way, our Indiegogo, we've already raised a bunch of money, but we're also raising, or we already have a bunch of the budget, but then we're raising the remainder of it. So our Indiegogo is actually going live. I heard you talking about your film that you did today, who I love. Yeah. And so it's a short film, and our Indiegogo is going live today. So
we'll have to post it, and I will repost that link.
That'd be amazing. Thank you.
It's just so, I love what how in today's day and age, you know, with so much love from our fans and our followers, and how they are so incredibly supportive, because we were able to raise all funding from our Indiegogo campaign. And I know exactly, I can totally empathize with everything you're feeling as a producer, because producing is also something that I wanted to get into. I feel like, especially
because you produce in Hollywoodland, right?
Yes. And it's something I've always wanted to do, but you and I both know that you have to reach a certain stage in your, in your career, where you can then take advantage and learn from some great mentors that you've met along the way. And it's all a timing thing. And so when we did this, I thought, okay, now's a good time to start getting my feet wet and exploring and learning. And it was nerve-wracking. It was probably one of the biggest learning curves in my career. You and I both know how much hard work it is to be a producer, especially with producers, and they do it day in and day out for 16 episodes, 23 episodes. I am in constant awe of how they have to keep all the fires burning.
Oh my God.
Keep everyone happy. And then I was told that it's one of the most thankless jobs.
It is.
But you have to really keep, you are supposed to be the one with the sane mind, and to keep everything going. It's multitasking on a whole other level. And I have so much great respect for those producers who do it and also do it well.
Yes.
So it's been such a big learning curve, and I'm so excited, because it's, despite, you know, the twists and turns and the ups and downs and learning, I want to do more. And I just feel now, especially, this is such a wonderful time to be a woman.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, a woman in Hollywood, where, you know, if we want to be that change, to see inclusivity, to support female filmmakers, and to see diversity, then that's up to you and I, and that's exciting. And I feel that we have a responsibility to really get involved. And if we want to see that change, then we have to be instrumental in playing our part in contributing to that. And it's exciting. It's really exciting. And I feel like it just marries so well with us as actresses as well. You know, because acting is something that, you know, I don't want to ever give up, and hopefully, you know, I can do for the rest of my life. I also have this childlike wonder and hunger and curiosity to want to continue to grow and thrive. I think whether you're creative or not, I think it's so important for all of us to do things that that allow us to continue to thrive and to grow and to learn and have new experiences. If we've learned anything from this pandemic, it's life is too short. So you've got to keep that, you know, that growth going. So I think it's so wonderful that you're doing it, and I'm cheering you on. Anytime you want to have conversations about producing and all that, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things where when I've been acting since I was a kid. I've been acting for like 20 years now, and when I was a teenager is when I started asking other people on set in other departments, like, what do you do? Like, what is that? What does this mean? And I talked to the producers a lot, especially because like when the producers were actually on set, they weren't physically doing as much stuff as like me going to the cinematographer and being like, what are you doing? And he'd talk to me or she'd talk to me and they'd be like, okay, I have to go film this thing now. And so naturally I had more time to talk to the producers. And also it was kind of like part of their job to talk to the actors. And I remember asking them, like, what do you do? And like, can you describe what producing is? And they're like, no, but I'll give you some examples of what I do. And I never like fully understood. I mean, I understood it from like an outsider's point of view, but I never fully understood what they meant until I started producing. And I was like, wow, it is just everything. Like there's more clear things like, you know, offering roles to actors or offering roles to crew members or, you know, stuff like that, or negotiations that you would think, yeah, that seems like a producery thing. But then there's like other random stuff. I can't even think of an example. Like for instance, I don't know. I don't want to go into like details or whatever.
It's essentially collecting all the pieces of the puzzle and making them fit.
Yes. Exactly.
And making them fit cohesively and in harmony so that everyone is on the same page. And when sometimes not everyone's on the same page, and you got to reel it in, you got to bring it in, and like I said, keep all the fires burning so that you are moving forwards and you're meeting the deadlines because time is money. It truly gave me a whole new appreciation.
Oh my God.
Our producers that we've worked with do. I
appreciate them. There's so many. I've been like working on my time management skills because I have none, and I've been trying to get some in general. And so with producing now, I've been like, I'll wake up in the morning and I'll have a general schedule for my day. Because again, like routine is so healthy, especially during this time when everything's like very nebulous. It's so important to be structured. And so I'll structure in like a day where I'll think, okay, I'm going to wake up and eat breakfast. That's another important thing. I forget to eat in the morning and then I don't feel good. It's so unhealthy. And one of the things I'm trying to do more is like get those nutrients in my body right away at the beginning of the day. Sometimes I'll have coffee and all of a sudden it'll be 3 and I'm like, oh my God, I'm starving. But I'll eat breakfast and then I'll have in my schedule like, okay, for the first 3 hours in the morning, I'm going to work on The Shift, which is the name of our short film. And then I'll be like, cool, I'm going to sing for an hour. And then I'm going to work on this other thing for 2 hours. And I'm going to write for 3 hours. And then I'm going to work on The Shift for another hour. And then what it turns into is working on The Shift for 10 hours. And maybe practicing my voice while I'm answering emails. And it just becomes this thing where I'm like, oh, I need to also find a way to be more structured and also forgive myself. I'm really, really hard on myself. And that's one of the things my therapist has given me homework with, is to be more compassionate to myself. I'll just tell anyone anything, by the way. I'm like,
No,
here's what my
that
therapist
is-
said to me.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that. Thank you for that, because we do have the tendency, we're so quick to bring ourselves down, to be judgmental of ourselves, and to, you know, and it's so important what you just said is to be more compassionate. I'm so glad you said that, because we say, okay, yes, we'll be more compassionate to ourselves, but then we go back into that same routine, especially during these times. And I've been doing bullet journaling. We talked about that as one of the Tea with Karen challenges in the past. And also I have my calendar out in front of me, and I'm old school. I love writing it down and just feeling that satisfaction of putting that check mark right beside it, or crossing it out. You know, there's a satisfaction that comes with that. And I have it there with me every day. And I think for us, especially because our livelihoods, there's just no routine. There's no set fixed routine. And that's something that we've had to adapt to as well, and work around that. To find ways of creating some sort of a routine with little things that many probably take for granted, you know, but for us, it's a big deal, you know. But it's so important. And I'm going back to what you said before, that you need to take care of yourselves. You have to go, you are the nucleus of everything around you. So my mom and dad have always said that you have to start with you. So your health, your eating habits,
I love that.
Taking those necessary breaks. Don't sit in front of the computer too long. You know, it's good to stretch, go for a walk, get some fresh air. Just get the body moving. Just don't stay stationary. You know, it's so important to take those quick breaks and hit those reset buttons. I love that you do meditation. That is something that if you can start doing even for 5 minutes.
5 minutes makes such a
start of your day. You know, you start little and then you grow from there, and it just makes it creates this positive domino effect, because you're looking after yourself. And when you're looking after yourself, that's when you can be better to not only yourself, but you can be better to those around you, your family, friends, work, you know. And so we often forget that, you know, where we go and we skip 2 meals and we realize, oh my God, we're starving and all that. That doesn't serve your purpose. So definitely, I think this time staying at home, I've been more attuned to that.
It makes you more introspective.
You know,
and it also, since there's less distractions, there's less things for me to be distracted by, you know, to distract me from like, oh, this is what I actually need to do for myself. And so I think, oh, what are the things I actually need to do? Because like for me, and I'm sure for a lot of people, you get so distracted with the final outcome of whatever you're trying to achieve that you forget that, like, only obsessively thinking about, like, for instance, I'll be like, oh, I need to write, you know, 10 pages of a script today. And so I'll be like, or that's actually a lot. I need to write 5 pages of a script today, which is still impressive. And I'll just think to myself, okay, I need to write 5 pages of script. And so what might happen to me is I'll forget to eat, and I won't exercise, and I'll just obsessively write. And then it also might be less quality work, because I'm not actually thinking about anything else. I'm only thinking about the final outcome, rather than being like, actually, the thing that's going to help this have a better outcome is if I take time to put some vegetables, you know, down my gullet and actually give my body nutrients, and like go for a walk or go for a bike ride or play with my dog. And because I'm so much more productive when I'm not just obsessively, you know, stuck on my thing. Like, I have to take care of myself. Like you were saying, even little stuff. I don't do it every morning. I need to get better on it. But one of my little routines that I do now is I wake up in the morning, I either start to make coffee or I put hot water on the kettle. So whether it's tea or coffee, I start to make that. And then I do 10 minutes of dishes. And then I start drinking my drink. And then I water the plants in the house. And then I do a 5-minute meditation, and then I go on with my day. And it sounds so simple, but once I started doing even just those 3 or 4, I can count. How many tasks is that? 1, 2, 3, 4 tasks. Once I do these 4 simple little tasks, it just brings my day, or it starts my day off so much more healthy.
You feel like you're kicking off your day with a sense of purpose and,
Exactly.
and focus, you know, and that makes such a huge difference.
It does.
You know,
it really makes such a difference.
Let's see. Now I know there's.
Oh yeah, your question. The questions.
I know.
Oops.
Well, I like this one. Okay, so we kind of answered that. At Bloody Unicat asked, "How do you?"
Oh, hi, Bloody Unicat.
Yeah. How do you keep your creative self nurtured while stuck at home? So I feel like we've talked about that, because that was such a good question, but you answered that.
Yeah, definitely.
Usman,
oh, and you know, one other thing to that too. Sorry, I was just thinking.
No, go ahead.
The way that she phrased it was also finding the balance between, because we were talking earlier about like the difference and similarities between like motivation and work ethic, and I used to think that like, oh, I need to be motivated to be creative. But it's like, no, most of the time, like motivation isn't going to be there all the time. Like you just have to figure out how to be creative when you're not motivated. That's actually probably the most productive thing that you can do as a creative, whether it's writing or something else. And part of the problem with motivation, for me at least, is like, what I'm now calling my King Lear syndrome, which is, you know, we all hear stories about how during like a pandemic, centuries ago, that during their lockdown, that's when Shakespeare wrote King Lear. And it's like this like shining beacon of this is what people can accomplish when they're locked down, which is inspiring, but the inspiration can turn to pressure. And so I started to get to a point where I was like, if I don't make something as great as King Lear, then I have wasted the pandemic, and I must do this too. And so it's also like taking the pressure off yourself to like, I'm gonna write King Lear. At least that's my own issue, is I keep thinking about King Lear, and I'm like, no, I need to write what's true to me. And also first drafts are gonna suck sometimes. And you have to write sucky stuff to get to great stuff. And so one of my things has been like kind of, again, being compassionate to myself and forgiving myself when I start to write, especially on the days that I don't feel inspired. I'm like, no, I'm just going to start writing something. And if it's not good, that's okay. If it's too long, if it's too short, and like I just start putting things on paper. And then sometimes you look back and it's great. So it's not so much like motivation as it is just work ethic. Yeah. And doing it when it's not fun. That's the hardest part.
And you're so right. It's like, don't put the pressure of being goal oriented.
Exactly.
It's the fact, the triumph here is that you actually got yourself to even do it.
Exactly.
So don't worry about the results. Focus on the process of it, the adventure of it, you know, live in that moment and just enjoy it for what it is. If you write something crap, it's fine. If you create or paint or whatever it is in that moment, that time that you have, and it's not necessarily what you want, it's fine. But what you are doing is you're starting to unlock and tap into something that may lead to something else. So
exactly,
you know, it's the act of doing, as opposed to, it's during these times, you know, our therapist has said the same thing. Don't feel the pressure of you know, achieving and overachieving.
Exactly.
You really have to listen and be attuned to yourself, and keep checking in with yourself. I think it's so wonderful. This is what I love about you, Brittany, and thank you so much for being so open about how important it is to talk, to express yourself, not keeping anything inside. It's better to share and to communicate, and surround yourselves with those great humans in our lives, those star humans in our lives that are there to help us. We help each other.
Exactly.
I think it's so important to keep, you know, to keep the communication open and to express ourselves. It's so easy to just suppress all of that and kind of dismiss it and say, no, it'll be fine. But then what becomes a drop of water in the bucket then becomes a puddle, and then the puddle becomes a river, and then the river becomes a lake. You know, you've got to address it from the minute that it bugs you. And that goes with relationships as well. I mean, look, this is the most time I've ever spent with Carl. Carl and I are not used to being together 24/7. I love my husband, but we're not used to being together so much.
And naturally.
you know, and it's so important that in your relationships and your friendships, that you're constantly talking.
Communication is so key in every type of relationship. It's so key.
Yeah, absolutely. One more question, and I wanted to address this one because I thought it was important. I know that you could have some insight on this. At Usman_Zam_390. I want to become an actor, but I can't due to a stammering problem. Could I still become an actor?
Oh, absolutely. It's interesting timing because who is it? Crap. Very, very, very famous person. Very, very famous actor. Oh, you know what? Let me just look it up because if I get this wrong.
Because I looked this up and I saw there's so many famous actors who suffered speech impediments. Either just when they were children, they grew out of it, or even now into their adulthood.
Yeah.
And I had no idea.
I had no idea either. And so it's funny timing because I was literally just reading about this about a week ago that I had no idea. Samuel L. Jackson had a stutter.
Yes.
And he's one of the biggest movie stars in the world, in history. And oh my God. James, my fiance, is watching because I just got a text from him a second before I said it. And he said Samuel L. Jackson.
Thanks, James.
He's in Dog Park right now watching, and that's adorable. Thank you, James. And I also know that he knew which actor I was thinking about. See, our minds are like the same mind at this point. He's just like a saner version of my mind. But yeah, you absolutely can. I mean, there you go. Major movie star. And also remember that when you see like actors, since we're specifically talking about acting, this goes for every profession, of course, but just because they asked about actors, when you see actors, like, you're only seeing the most polished versions of them. And I don't just mean physically, I mean their performances, their presentation. Like, when you're watching them in movies, they've done, I mean, also this happens because of years and years of hard work and commitment and stuff. But like, you're seeing the best version of these people. And like, even when I put in so much work into my characters, I know a script in and out, for instance, I'll still be on set and I'll know it 100% and I'll still forget a line. You know what I mean? Or I'll have like a hard day, but you don't see the takes of me forgetting lines. You only see takes of me, unless it's a blooper reel, and that's fun too. But you only see takes in movies of the people knowing the lines, or in Samuel L. Jackson's movies, you don't see it. I don't know if he still struggles with his stutter, but if he does, or if that ever comes out, you don't, or for the actors that still have it, you don't see the takes of them with these things that they, deal with day to day. And so you need to, it's like that quote, like, stop comparing your practice to other people's highlight reels. There's a way more eloquent way that is said, but it's true. Like, if you have a thing that you think impedes you, but you want to do the thing, because again, like, you're not seeing Samuel L. Jackson stuttering because those aren't the takes they're using, or he's, decades have gone by and he's been working on it, but he did have it. And so just remember that, like, these actors that you admire, they allow themselves to go on set and make mistakes. And you should also allow yourself to practice and make mistakes and finally get there, because again, you're only ever seeing people's most polished selves. And we're not all polished, believe me. Like,
no. Yes, amen to that. No, we're not perfect. That's all an illusion if you think we are under the camera. Because I did a little bit of research actually, and like, I saw that from some articles that about 70 million people worldwide suffer from some form of speech impediment.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
And often, especially for actors, some people have gone on into acting because they can, the minute that they change and adapt to a different personality, all of a sudden that seems to calm the stammering down. So, which is really fascinating. But I was seeing like James Earl Jones, for 8 years, he barely spoke. It was that bad. And he read poetry to help him. Bruce Willis, Nicole Kidman have all said the same thing, that they had stuttering problems. Emily Blunt said that she used relaxation therapy that
Oh,
worked.
wow.
And then Ed Sheeran, I love this, speech therapy he did, homeopathy, and rapping to Eminem helped him.
Really?
Yeah, helps
Oh,
him
I love that.
overcome his stutter.
Music
And
is
I
so
just
healing.
love that. So everything that Brittany said, I would say is that, you know, your dreams are so important, they're so beautiful, and they're valid. And if that is truly your calling and your passion, then you go and do it.
Yeah.
You go and do it.
And watch the King's Speech.
Yes.
That's such a good example of someone that was thrusted into the limelight and had a major speech impediment, and got past it. And I mean, it was terrible. So it also affects literal royalty.
Yes.
You know,
literally.
like, so, and it's, it's.
And if it, like I said, it's there. I'm reading more about it, and the articles are saying, look, there are so many different kinds of therapies to help
Yes.
you, you know, to get through it. There's not necessarily a cure, but there are therapies that can help you. And I feel like, you know, it's absolutely worth it if you want to be an actor. And it'll never
100%.
feel like work, you know, and never feel like work. So I love that question so much. So
Me too.
Usman, I hope you do follow your acting.
Yes, please do. And then
Yes.
you can be one of, like, when someone's doing Instagram live in 10 years
Yes.
and they're talking about people that have overcome these things, you can be on the list with Samuel L. Jackson
Exactly.
and Emily Blunt and all these people.
Just this morning, I'm incoherent sometimes. It's like I can't get
same.
the words out sometimes, because it's like so many thoughts just going in your head, and you want it to like come out as eloquently as possible.
Yeah.
And you know, but it's okay.
There's a couple words I can't say. I don't know if I have a speech impediment, but I can't say the word self. It's S-O-U-T-H. I'm saying the opposite of north. I can't say the word self. And I add an extra letter, and I've never been able to say this word. And I have been around friends, and they're like, what? Are you saying self?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, self. And I literally can't say the word. Yeah. And so, like, even, like, I don't have a stutter. I guess I technically must have some kind of impediment. But, like, whatever, who cares? If they don't know if I'm saying self or self, see, I just sound like the same word. Like, screw them, you know? So, like, just whatever, do it. Like, do whatever you want. I don't know. I literally can't say this word, and I can't explain why. And so that's the other thing, is there's probably people that have these things that you don't even know about. Like me, that's not, I mean, it's so minuscule, and for the record, I'm not comparing it whatsoever. What I'm saying is that, you're not alone. And even with something as silly as I can't say one word, I think I can't say two words. But that's never stopped me, and or anyone, you know, I don't know. Maybe that's a stupid example. I'm not comparing the two things. It's so different than a stutter. I'm just trying to say that, like, it doesn't matter, and do what you want. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
And embrace.
I can't even think right now.
We have quarantine brains. It's absolutely fine.
Yes.
And it's to say that there's no judgment, you know, that.
Yes.
I'm
only trying to say nice things with that. I'm not trying to identify with you at all, like, only in a nice way. See, my brain's not listening. Say something else, Karen. Change the subject. I only mean it in a kind way.
You have the
kind every horrible meaning person ever.
You have the kindest heart, and you mean well, and it's so important now more than ever that all of us come together as a family, and we empathize with each other. So
absolutely.
I hear what you're saying. None of us are alone in our struggles, in our challenges. There's so much that we don't know about each other, what we're going through behind closed doors. So, you know, if any of these tea sessions and what we talk about can just make you feel like that you're seen and that you're included, because you are, then that's what makes these tea sessions, you know, so wonderful, that we can catch up over tea informally, and you know, and
I love how it went from, like, we're polished actors to me saying God knows what.
Having an
emphasis in the
thoughts that just come out.
See, that was me doing an example to show you that actors aren't polished. So you're welcome. It was all on purpose.
Yes, we have bad hair days.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't have time to wash my hair, so it has like doing weird things.
So before, I can't believe how quickly the time has gone by now. Is there anything you want to say to your beloved followers and the gang on here?
James just got home from the dog park. Yeah, guys, thank you. Well, thank you for like watching my shows and stuff, and also like honestly, your love, everyone's love and support, and your messages and everything during this time has been like really supportive to me. And maybe I can show you the puppy. Hold on, I'll show you guys.
Go get him, and I'll do some shout outs here. We've got page for my idols. Hello, Fernandez Jose.
That's cute.
Is he coming?
Yeah, the puppy's coming. I'm still on, but I want to show the puppy.
Let me see if I can get Carl.
I mean, she's like full grown now, but this is Annie.
Oh my!
Say hi, Annie. She's 10 months, and she's a blue heeler. And she's we just did the DNA test. She's like half blue heeler. She's 30% pit bull, Staffordshire, and one other thing, but she's mostly cattle dog. And that's say hi. Say hi, okay.
Hi,
Carl came in.
Hey, love.
You're not alone.
I'm gonna ask. Yeah, I'm gonna say, Carl, come and say hi with Milo.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hold on, Carl's gonna come say hi. But yeah, no. Yeah, what I was saying. Yeah, thank you guys for like, and again, like we were saying, like be kind to yourself during this time. Be creative, but without putting pressure on yourselves. And also shop. This is so out of left field, but shop Black-owned businesses. I think sometimes we, I know you talk about Black Lives Matters a lot. And, you know, I've like donated money and signed petitions, and there's so many things that we can do.
It's ongoing.
And it's ongoing. But one thing that you can make a lifestyle change no matter what for the rest of your life is to make more of an effort to shop Black-owned businesses. I just downloaded this app called Eat Okra. And it's a food app like Postmates. But it's specifically Black-owned businesses in your area. And I love it. I just downloaded it, and it's a really great idea. And then that app is actually it's actually a small business run by like 3 people. So by downloading the app, you're literally supporting a small business to begin with. But yeah, that's the thing you can do in your everyday life is literally even if there's this website that I just looked up. Oh geez, I had it written down. It's called WeBuyBlack.com, and like you can literally buy cleaning supplies there. But even like with your everyday household items, it's good to be just to buy from small businesses in general is a good thing, and specifically from buy products from Black-owned businesses. And like I love WeBuyBlack.com because rather than going to like Walmart or something, you can support a small business, like if you need to get more Clorox or more whatever, or other like more fun things. You know.
Thank you so much for bringing both. I love Eat Okra, and now I know about this one, and I will put that. I will. Totally.
No, I know you've been really vocal about it, and so I was like, oh, I want to mention this new app that I just found that you already have, obviously, and then this other website because I'm trying to be also just a more conscious consumer in general, and so yes, this is a big part of that.
Because it all has a domino effect. You know? People think, oh, but I'm just one person. But each of us are so powerful in creating change. And it starts right from within our households. So don't underestimate how powerful your actions can be and how that folds into the greater picture. So, you know, I love that. So thank you. I think Carl's on a call because normally he would just open the door. Milo would be running up, kissing my face and everything. But
that's okay. Well, I'm sure they'll be texting in like a couple hours anyway.
I know. They'll arrange and we'll have picnic.
And we'll have our backyard thing. Yeah, again, everybody, very socially distanced, be safe, wear masks.
Yes.
Because that also is a thing where like just the act of putting on a piece of mask is such a kind, safe thing for both yourself and other people, and it just shows that you respect others and you respect yourselves, and it's such a small gesture you can make, or an easy gesture you can make, but a big gesture, I guess. Yeah. And so I encourage people to do that as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karen.
It's been so much fun having tea.
Yeah, this was so fun. Thank you for inviting my nice little English saucer out. Or, sorry, this is a saucer. I know what a saucer is. Jeez. I'm not that American.
Okay, love you lots. And
thank you for having me. Love you too. And
oh,
I'll
thank you.
see you
Bye
another
now.
time.
Bye, guys. Thanks for tuning
Bye,
in.
guys.
Bye.
Nice to see you all.